Hi everyone, welcome back, and I appreciate you tuning in and supporting me and Magic Mix. And if you have any ideas for a show or would like to participate in showing your art or your craft, let me know and we can do something about that. So today is Fluid Art Thursday. Tuesdays we usually do crafts, and I try to keep the videos to about 30 minutes, but occasionally we do go a little bit over depending on what it is. Today I am going to try out golden fluid pouring medium. They were kind enough and sent the instructors for the Fluid Art Convention a little sample package, and we have golden color pouring medium matte, okay, and all this came in a nice little box. We have color pouring medium gloss. Today I'm using the matte, and we'll see how that works. They sent some colors. I know I'm going to mess this name up. It's Dariel Yellow. I know, right? I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce it. I'll hold it up so you can see it if the camera will focus on it. But it's kind of a orangey yellow, all right? And we have Naphthol Red Light. I can say this one, green gold. And here comes some of my favorite colors. We have Persian blue hue, which is kind of a navy. I bet that's going to be a pretty color. And teal, really nice aqua light teal color, and white. So I'm not going to use all the colors today, a pretty good bit of them. I did a hibiscus a while back, and this particular one is kind of like the Lone Ranger. I did a little bit more to it than I normally do to them. It turned out really pretty. I embellished it some. Put in the darker greens and the darker magenta. I had some paints that are high definition, is what they're termed, and they're very, very thick, and you can kind of like draw paint with them. They're very nice. It's they're put out by Folk Art. Hey Pam, thanks for joining in. But as you see, it just kind of added a little bit more depth, a little bit more interest and character to it. And it's kind of like the Lone Ranger. So I thought what I would do is make another one to go with it. So we're going to put this to the side. I might need to reference it a little bit. 11 by 14 canvas, already have the push pins in, and I've checked it to make sure that the canvas is tight. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera down, and this pouring medium, it says leveling low crazing extender for pouring acrylic colors. Usually when you get crazing, you have added too much paint versus your medium, okay? And also you can get crazing, and by the term crazing, I mean these little tiny cracks. And that will also happen if you put too much paint on the canvas and it takes a long time for it to dry. I've been guilty of that. Yes, I am. Because I get impatient and I want to go ahead and fix something instead of waiting for it to dry and doing it over. I'm getting better about that, but every now and then I'll go ahead and do it, and it does create little cracks. Sometimes you can fix them by using molding paste or kind of like a caulk to kind of rub in the middle of the cracks. I don't do that to anything that I'm going to sell. It's mostly experimenting. Okay. This is 100% acrylic medium for pouring acrylic colors with reduced crazing. And it says that you can, a good starting point is mixing 10 parts color pouring medium matte to 1 part golden fluid acrylic color. Adding more paint or pouring greater than a 1/16 thick increases risk of crazing. That's just what I said. If you pour too much paint, it's going to do that. It's going to crack. Blends well with other acrylic gels, mediums, or colors. Do not use as a varnish. Apply above 49 degrees. Always test your application. Clean up with soap and water. So we're going to try this out today. I've mixed up a couple of the colors, and I really like it. I'll confess, I had to Google the math, okay? I am not a mathematician. I am an artist, and I know you have to use math in art sometimes, but I was trying to figure out these little cups are they'll hold 2 fluid ounces. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to break that down into tenths. So I Googled, and it came out 0.2 ounces. I thought, okay, so now I'm going to have to take it a little bit further and find out, because I was thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to break this down? And I thought, okay, I'll do it in teaspoons. So I Googled 0.2 ounces equals how many teaspoons, and it told me 1.2 teaspoons. So, okay, I can do that. I can do that. Hey, Tara, thanks for joining in, honey. I am making fun of myself and my math skills, okay? But thank goodness for Google, right? And the red I've already, as you can see, have mixed into the pouring medium. And I love it. Look at that. It's just a nice, steady stream, exactly the way it's supposed to be, okay? So, and it doesn't take much. And I'm thinking, you know, you could, I'm going to mix up the yellow. That's what I'm going to do. I'll mix up the yellow so y'all can see it doesn't take much at all. So this is 2 fluid ounces, and we're going to add that in here. And no, I'm not filling it all the way up to the top, because I got to have room for the paint in here as well. And the calculation was 1.2 teaspoons. Well, if I don't fill it all the way up, I don't have to worry about the 0.2. So it's going to get 1 teaspoon of paint, which is not a whole lot if you stop and think about it. Well, this is giving me a fit. Okay, let's see here. Let's try this one. The other ones came off with no problem. Here we go. Hey, Chrissy. Thanks for joining today. We are going to create a hibiscus, and we're going to mix this paint up. And we need 1 teaspoon. This little spoon that I have is a 1/2 teaspoon, equal measurement, 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm going to put 2 of these in here. And as you can see, it's not much paint. This will really help out in the cost because you don't need a whole lot of paint. Where's the lid? And it doesn't take much to mix it up. But if you go according to the measurements, your paint consistency will be perfect. Hey, Mandy. Really appreciate y'all tuning in today. We are trying out golden paints in their pouring medium. See, look at that. That's just perfect. Perfect consistency. Now, what will be interesting also, I use Floetrol as a pouring medium. I'm used to that. I know how to work it as far as the recipe goes. Okay. And you know how the Floetrol will create little cells. So this is going to be interesting to see if this pouring medium does that, or will it be all the same, you know, no cells. So we'll find out. I'm going to base the canvas with some white, and this is Apple Barrel Craft White with Floetrol. So I'm kind of counter-reacting on that. I just thought of that. We'll just have to wait and see, right? Now you could do, if you were doing this little hibiscus thing, you could do any kind of background you want, all right? The one that I'm partnering it with has a white background, so I'm going to keep the background white. And I just dropped it. I am gently spreading this paint around. It will also be interesting to see if the golden matte medium levels things out like the Floetrol. We don't want any big lumps or hills and valleys. And most of the time when you do fluid art, that's what happens. You get that hills and valleys because your paint, you're pouring, it's not level. So that'll be interesting to see if that works. Need a little bit more paint over here. The weather here has just been absolutely gorgeous last couple days. I stopped by a couple of the gardening stores and picked up some vegetable plants. I'm going to try my hand at growing some veggies this year. See how that happens, how that works out. Picked up some squash, zucchini. What else? tomatoes, of course. Hey, Joan Lee. All right, we're about ready. And for this hibiscus, the other one is kind of a magenta pink color, like that, okay? So for this one, I'm gonna do the yellow with the red in the center, kind of opposite of this. The colors are gonna be a little bit brighter. And we'll use the straw. So there's gonna be a lot of blowing. And the greens are gonna be different. The greens are more of a yellow, goldy green. So it ought to be really pretty. Got my little straw out here, and it's the one that bends. So those are really nice. Okay, let's get started here. And let's see. Here. So I'm going to put this flower here on this side. Yeah. And what we're going to do is just kind of pour a little puddle. And we'll spread that out some. Now, when you see me blowing, I'm moving the straw back and forth motion, so it helps spread that paint around a little bit and gives it that flower petal, hibiscus petal look to it. So let's pour some more paint on here. These are fun to do. They're real easy. And you can get them as fancy as you want to. One thing I want to make sure is I want the flowers approximately the same size. So I think it's going to have to be a lot bigger. Oh yeah, it's going to have to be a lot bigger. Let's see, I'm going to move this over here. This over here. So I'm going to bring the center down to about here. I kind of like that little silhouette in the background, the lighter yellow. Oh man, let's see what happens there. It happens. Okay, we're going to go back this way. When I get the size, I'll start adding other colors and you'll be able to define the petals more. It's looking pretty good though. Okay. Just about the right size. So, and this yellow is sinking. I'm going to do it again. Okay. All right, let's try some red. Let's put some red in the middle. Y'all sure are quiet today. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you have some gorgeous weather. Well, that's going to be a nice contrast. I'll probably end up putting more red, but I'd rather start little and we can build up on that. Let's see what this does. Ooh, I like it. What do y'all think? Might have to go a little bit bigger. And you want to, when you're looking at your petals, if you're looking down on the flower, odd numbers always work best instead of even numbers. Now, if you were doing like a side, you could get away with the 3. But since this is full on, I want to have at least 5 different petals coming out, if not more. Let's see. Move this chair out of the way. All right. Let's see. I think I'm going to add some more red. Might end up adding some yellow. It's kind of fading in the background. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. I want to see what happens, how much of that color is going to sink in. Well, let's start the, hey Rose, thanks for joining in. I just looked up, saw you there. We're doing a hibiscus today, trying out some new paints. And let's see, I'm going to start working on the leaves. This flower might need to be a little bit larger. I'm thinking. All right, let's see. We're going to go, this is kind of a yellow green. It's not a blue green. We're going to go, yeah, that flower is going to have to be a lot larger. Let me go ahead and do that. And let's see. I'll have to redo the red too. That's okay. The colors are fading. And this will probably spread out a little bit of red too, which is good. That's good. It'll be okay. It'll probably add a lot more character to it. Yeah. See what that did? Is it took some of that red out and put into the petal also. That ended up being really pretty. Very, very pretty. And take a look at the shape of your petal. You know, it's okay if they're different. That's what nature does. They're not all symmetrically perfect. So go for it. You know, try not to be perfect with it. Much better. Much, much better. Okay. We'll see how that yellow is just sinking in though. It's not, we'll see what happens over here. Let's do some leaves. Okay. I'm going to have to draw this in. Usually I have these paints in the little bottles. Let's see. And we'll put one like right here. And one like right here. And let's put one in the middle. Okay. So that's about where we are. Do a little bit of veining. Leaves are real easy. You can get as detailed as you want to with them, or as simple. This will end up being embellished also. I'll go ahead and when it dries, the paint that I use for embellishing it, it's best to do it when it's dry. Let's see. So that's about where we are with that. Now we're going to go in here and put some color every now and then. Looks like a great big mess, doesn't it? It is a lot easier with them being in the bottle. You know, you can just pour it out. Now let's put some of this chartreuse green in here. Might try swiping first. I don't know. Maybe blowing. I think that's what I did with the other one over there, is I just used the straw for everything and the popsicle stick. All right, we have a little bit of this yellow-green. Let's put some of that in there, brighten some things up. We'll have to put the veins back in there after we do the blowing. I was just getting some kind of ideas to what we were looking at here. Okay. So that's what we have. Hey, Sherry. Glad you made it. All right. Make sure you put the correct end of the straw in your mouth if your straw has touched the paint, because when you put it to your lips, you won't know it until somebody tells you. All right, here we go. And I'm just gently blowing on this. I don't want a whole lot of white showing. So it's a lot more gentler here than it was up here. But it sure is making those colors blend really well. That's pretty. Ooh. Don't forget to take a break. I don't know about y'all, but I like it. It's pretty. Okay, now to get it close, these leaves up closer, I'm going to turn it around and blow towards the flower gently. So we may end up doing some more of the yellow. Let's see how this works out. Okay, so I need some more green. Needs to be a little bit closer. Yeah, I'm actually doing all this blowing with allergies. Let's see. Nice. All right. All right. Okay. We're going to define that flower a little bit more. And we're going to blow that way so I can have the petal of the flower on top of the leaf. And I'd rather start out little. Always add more. It's easier to add more. Perfect. Very nice. Okay. Now, to give this leaf or this flower a little bit more character, that yellow keeps sinking, and I know I have a lot of paint. There's a lot of paint on here. Okay, let's do some red. I'm letting this rest a little bit. Let's see what happens. Might need to add some more green. So it definitely is not as, it's really pretty, but it's not as solid color as this, which might not be bad. You know, you don't want exactly the same, but I would like for them to be compatible, I guess. Okay. All right. We're getting the center. Let's see. I do want some white in the center. Not a whole lot, though. Put it on the popsicle stick, and I'll be able to control a little bit better. All right. Shaping up nicely. All right, let's do something about these leaves. This just kind of adds a little bit more personality to it. So, what do y'all think? Make sure you go over the edge. And we'll break it up here. I'm thinking that it's going to need a lot more green. A lot of white. A lot of white showing up in here. It just seems to be, these colors just seem to be sinking. I like the look of it, but it needs to be a little bit darker. Let's see. And the lighter green. I'll make a video when I do the embellishing so you can see how easy that is, but it adds so much character and personality. You'll be able to see how that's done. Let's see here. So that added a lot more color. If it'll just stay, let's see. Okay. Helps hide some of that white. Now we're going to push the yellow back on top of it. There you go. All right. Now we're going to draw our lines in. I'll probably have to continue looking at this while it's drying to see how the paint is as far as it sinking in or staying put. This popsicle stick wants to get snagged on the canvas. Okay, now let's do something with this. I'm going to define the petals a little bit more. By bringing in some paint. Got real light there. There we go. All right. I'm going to continue checking on this throughout the afternoon to see if it needs more definition. And if so, I'll do that. It'll probably take a couple of days for this to dry. I just have some splatters I'm picking up here. And let's see, today's Thursday. Maybe Sunday before I can do any embellishing it. And when I do, I'll definitely tune y'all in. But you can just keep playing with it if you do one to your liking. And go from there. Nice little definition there. So, well, thank you, Rose. Thank you very much. I think the hibiscus is one of my favorite flowers to do. And I have quite a few plants, hibiscus plants in the yard. We have red, peach, and yellow. We have a yellow one with the red center like this. It's always very pretty. The hummingbirds like it too. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. Thank you, Rose. No, this color green is more of a blue green. And I wonder why. Aha! There we go. And that one is more of a yellow green, as you can see. What I'll do to this one when I embellish it, I will use a dark yellow green to go in on top of this with the golden and the yellow and some red. It'll end up looking as much depth as this one does. That one will have too. So it's just being patient, waiting for it to dry, like a little kid. You can't take the blow dryer to it either, because then it'll crack. It'll dry too fast and won't cure. But I think we have a really good beginning. You can see what they look like without embellishment and with embellishment. So it's up to you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And if you enjoyed today's video, please share it with your family and friends. I will see you Tuesday for crafting Not sure what we're going to do yet, but if you have any suggestions, let me know. And if not Tuesday, maybe before then. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Hugs, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.